What's up, everybody? Brad here with another video. Kind of late on this announcement. Been busy this week, but I definitely wanted to talk about this because this is very interesting to me. We got a new game announcement from the Dragon Ball world, and it is Dragon Ball The Breakers. And this is a new kind of game for Dragon Ball where I can't remember what's the term they used. I can't remember. Basically, though, it will be a 1 versus 7 style game. And the only thing I can think of that I've played that is reminiscent of this is Among Us, where one or two or three or however many it is, players will play as the imposters and the rest of the team has to figure out who it is. Well, this is a similar idea, and I've been told that Dead uh, Dead by Daylight, I think it's called, is a similar style game to what this is supposed to be. I think it's asymmetrical. I think that's what it is. Anyway, that's the word I saw thrown around. But anyway, one player will play the role of one of Dragon Ball's iconic villains and will be given powers. And that player's job is to eliminate the other players. Meanwhile, said other players will be using their own character's unique abilities to attempt to get away from the villain that's trying to kill them. And I'm assuming that you may be able to destroy the villain if you can figure out a way to do so. I don't know for sure, but it's just that's the basic setup. Somebody plays as a Frieza, Cell, or Majin Buu. I'm assuming there'll be other characters too. And other characters will play as, I guess, these original characters here. Oolong and Bulma were shown. These are the two right here. For some reason, it's Dragon Ball era Bulma. I don't think it really matters, but yeah, this is an interesting idea, and I'm actually glad that they're doing this kind of thing. Like, there's been a recent push on Twitter for a Xenoverse 3, and in my opinion, I don't think we need another Xenoverse game. I don't think like doing the save the timeline story again with just different changes, unless they're going to add a ton of content to it, because Xenoverse 2 already has a lot more content than Xenoverse 1 did. And unless Xenoverse 3 is just going to be massive compared to 2, just expand 2. It's working so far. And the game's even going into next year, as they've already said, there's going to be more DLC for Xenoverse 2 coming next year, which is interesting enough because this new game, is going to be have some kind of link to the save data of Xenoverse 2. So if you have Xenoverse 2 and then you play this, they will connect up somehow. And I think maybe either to maybe fighters as well. I'm not really sure how, but they didn't really explain it. But I want to keep my eye on this game. But anyway, I'm glad that these Dragon Ball games are starting to think outside the box, in that, yes, a Dragon Ball fighting game is always going to be popular, but there's room for other kinds of stuff like this to show up, which will give people a very different experience than they've ever had with Dragon Ball before. So, this is a cool idea. It's something different. And, like, Oolong is playable. Dragon Ball Bulma is playable in this game. I don't know who these two OCs are right here in the middle. They look like just generic creative characters. I'm sure they'll be important somehow. Maybe they'll end up as characters in Xenoverse. But yeah, this is a very interesting idea. I'm very excited to see exactly like what exactly the powers can do. Like, I think one of Oolong's powers is of course taken from the show. He can transform into an inanimate object. So he's very easy to hide. Bulma is tech savvy, so I'm sure she can activate certain weapons and stuff. Like, I saw a clip of her activating Trunks' time machine, I think it was. So this is going to be a cool idea. It also reminds me of, like, there was a mini game, or there's some mini games in, I had this funny enough to say this, but Nintendo Land, where it's one player versus the rest, one versus all. And like, You play, I think it's you play as Mario, where you're playing with your Mii's. As a Mii dressed as Mario, chasing various uh, chasing the other players who are dressed as Toads. And then there's one that's based on Luigi's Mansion, sort of the same thing. And an Animal Crossing game that's sort of based on the same thing, where you play as the Animal Crossing guards, and you have to chase the other players who are collecting marbles. So this is a cool idea. I like it. I'm glad they're doing more than just here's a Dragon Ball Arena fighter. We've had those for years. Uh, the Budokai games were cool. The Kentaiichi games were cool. Even Raging Blast. I love, like, the fighting games are always going to work. But I'm glad that they want to think outside the box. And this, I think, the first impressions I get from this is that this will be a popular game, at the very least amongst Dragon Ball fans. In the greater gaming community, I don't know. Because it seems like Dragon Ball games, outside of fighters, don't really seem to get a lot of eyes on them. But I think that's fine. Dragon Ball is pretty much the most popular anime in the world, the most mainstream anime in the world. The only other possible property you could argue is more better known is maybe Pokemon, and that's actually just a glorified commercial for the games. With Dragon Ball, it's the other way around. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting idea, and I'm glad to see it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. You can support my channel if you would be so kind, and go watch all of my other stuff. And hopefully, I can get some more Dragon Ball stuff on here at some point. But until then, we'll see you later.